Okay, good morning and well done on finishing off your math. I'm sure that by the time you're watching this, it means that you're finished the math, so that's great. Yeah, nice. Hopefully, you guys have a bit of a feeling of just like, relief that you're done that unit. Okay, so today, now on the morning message and on our daily plan, I've only said that we're doing ELA, which is true. And I also forgot to say that we have the moral education part to hand in today, which was the Be Kind section. So that's this one. Okay. So yep, what you're supposed to do is like just write down like how you push the inner critic aside, and then kind of like how do you feel after showing kindness towards yourself. So I'm going to start marking these today, but there's still a number of people who have not handed this in. So if you hand this in even by tomorrow, that's great. And because we're not doing too much today in ELA. So just a reminder that this is how this is being marked. So an E is a well thought response of, how does being kind to yourself make you feel? Okay, so like a little sentence about that, like, or a couple sentences. How does that, like, what do you notice about that? Like, why should you do this? And then 4 diverse strategies or quotes that you might like. And these can come from anywhere. People have been asking me, like, where do I get these from? You can make them up, you can find them, whatever. And then a CA, you can just read this. It's a good response to how does being kind to yourself make you feel? And then 3 diverse strategies or quotes, okay? And then so on like that, okay? So I just wanted to mention that little thing so you guys can work on that. It's especially good to do, like, it's just good. Like, it's great to do all of the time. Like, just kind of reminding yourself that, yeah, like, you don't need to be too hard on yourself because, like, usually you are your own worst critic. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that quickly. So it's on Seesaw, and you can send it to me if you don't, like, let me just see here, like, yeah, Rami did something that wasn't using this template, and that's cool. Like, that's awesome. Just send me a picture. You don't have to send it on here either. If you want to send it to me on just like a personal message on Edmodo, that's great as well. Okay, so whatever. Yeah, and it's kind of like a vision board type thing that hopefully is something that's like you can remember. And I'd even encourage you guys to like print these off and then have them like in your room or in your like locker for later or something. Okay, so now getting into ELA. All right, so we did the draft, okay? So the purpose of the draft was to have 3 minimum paragraphs. First paragraph should be an introduction, body paragraphs where you're like getting into talking about stuff, and then the final portion should be like the kind of like end little conclusion. And then that was due today. So people who have done this, I'm going to give you guys points on Class Dojo. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see. Alex, Amber, and Daisy, and Daniel, and Ibrahim, and Malik, and Mohammed, no, not quite. Rami, great work. And Rita, awesome. And Sammy, great stuff. And Zaha, okay, so you guys have the writing task done. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. So the people who have your writing done, you guys are going to be benefiting because we're going to do a peer edit. So that means you guys get the opportunity to have somebody else look at your work before the final bit is due. So I'm going to be switching yours with somebody else, okay? Yep, so this is what you should be thinking about once you get somebody else's, okay? How has your partner done with formatting of the letter? So have they done the correct structure of where like the address should be and the closing, all that stuff? Okay, then there's 3 next kind of parts. So these 3 next parts would apply to any form of peer editing. The first one being, what compliments can you provide to them? So what did you really enjoy reading? What did you think was like a cool part that they added in? And then this is the other great part is maybe you can get some ideas like, oh yeah, I love how my partner mentioned this. Maybe I'll mention something kind of similar along those lines too. So a little compliment, kind of like a star. And then this would be like a wish. What suggestions or other information could they have added? So it's like a little like, maybe you'd want to, something that you did, maybe you'd want to include a little bit more about some of your favorite hobbies that you have enjoyed, especially this year. Or maybe you want to include a little paragraph about something when it was like to graduate from grade 6 in COVID. something else, like a little suggestion for something else they could use to just like bump up their content of their letter. And then the last part is corrections. So are there any corrections that you can make? Like maybe they forgot to capitalize something, or they've missed a period somewhere, or something kind of like just like a little like a grammatical or maybe a spelling mistake that you can catch. So those are going to be due tomorrow, okay? And then what we're gonna do is so hopefully you guys can work on the peer edits today, and then I'm gonna give them back to you tomorrow, and then the final copy is going to be due, I really want them on Wednesday, like the next day. But really, like the latest that you can have them done is Thursday. Okay, so there we go. So if you get the peer edit, back today, I'll give them back to you guys. Well, I'm gonna say they're due tomorrow, so that means once I get them handed in, then tomorrow I'm gonna hand them back to you guys, and then you can use the information that your partner has provided, complement, suggestion, and corrections, to then enhance what you've already done in your draft. Okay, so we're not writing the final drafts right now. We're still working on the first draft. People who have not handed it in, you need to get that in today, because now you are late with handing that in, and the deadlines will still apply for the final copy being due on Thursday. Okay, so stay tuned. I will be sending you guys your partner's work probably by like 10:15-ish. Okay, there you go. Okay, have fun.